How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing well, and honestly, I had no intention of joining your show tonight, but I've got kind of a philosophy that when I'm a pretty spiritual guy. I try my best anyway, man. I'm full of flaws, full of garbage that I really wish that would, I'd either overcome or disappear or whatever.
Lay it on
But
me, man. Lay it on me. I need it at
I
this
just
point.
when somebody is having a rotten day, the thing, and this is for me personally, when I'm on the rock, so to speak, it helps tons to just know that somebody cares, right? So, dude, I care. I totally care.
Thanks,
I
man.
think you're awesome. I really do.
Thank you so much.
And,
And you're right. I mean, I could even just feel it right there helping. Honestly, and
isn't
I'm
it
not blowing
amazing?
smoke. It is. It really is. And I knew you would, particularly given the specific sticking point. It's not the only one.
Yeah.
It's not. And for you, for those of you out there wondering, no, the marriage is great. The family's fine. No one's sick. Well, my sister-in-law is sick, and so is my father, but they're doing okay. It has nothing to do with that. It's really just personal situation stuff, right? And they tend to stack up, man. What the hell is up with that?
It's a thing called humanity. I honestly, and this is my personal belief, I honestly don't think a single soul on earth gets a free ride. I just don't think anybody just is born, even those people who seem like they've got it all together, were born into a wealthy family or have worked their way to the top, or whatever your definition of success is. I personally believe, and this is unprovable, but I personally believe everybody goes through the valley of the shadow of death, brother. Everybody has got to experience this thing called life, and some days you just wish could be erased from time.
Yes.
And dude, that is, and first off, well, not first off, like second or third off, I guess, but kudos for going live tonight, man. Even feeling like this, that is that's got to be something that is that not super easy.
It is not. It is not. And I've literally I've shut shows down because of hardships. Never personal ones like this, but this is the one thing, well, aside from family, this is the one thing I really look forward to. And I knew I'd be able to talk to my new friends. I mean, I consider each and every one of you guys who have been on the show, a lot of people in the chat, I've never seen their face, but I consider a lot of these people friends now. Because I know I can meet them in person, which I have several, but I know I can meet any that I haven't already met in person, and we'd have a lot of fun and look past our differences and just be people.
Yeah.
That to me is such a pick-me-up. And I've already experienced this on the show, so I made sure that I didn't cancel tonight's show because I knew it would bring me out of the doldrums.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
that's so good.
You got to climb for the crests, right?
Yeah, and it shows your, at least in my eyes, it shows your perspective of hope in humanity. Going out, broadcasting yourself out is obvious. It was obvious that you're going through some crap in the beginning. I was like, holy crud, what is going on with Jim? And then it was like, hey guys, come on in. I'm like, dude, I've got to go in there and let him know he's loved. Was not a pity party. I don't want a pity party or anything like that. It's just honest to goodness. We're in this together, we're on this spinning rock together. And I don't know. I know that so many people have helped me when I've been going through garbage, and so everybody's got to give and get. And I hope that you pull yourself out and we can help you along the process, man.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I agree with you on all but one of those that you throw out there. I think there is definite empirical evidence to say that each and every one of us, I mean, even, nobody goes through this life trouble-free.
Agreed.
Even down to the smallest degree, right?
Right.
If we want to take it down to that, and it is all a matter of degrees, right? It's
Sure.
not like I've got a gun to my head right now. That
No.
would be a problem. Might make
That
you a
would be
little
a problem.
depressed. Yeah, might bring you down a bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then there are people who stub their toe, and that's the end of their day. You see what I mean?
Agreed.
So it's a matter of degrees, and perspective is everything.
Amen, brother.
But man, hearing that is really helpful, Jason. I'm dead serious about that. And these guys are actually saying a whole bunch of good shit too that I'm missing. Would you mind very quickly if I hit up on some of them? Because there's some new folks that I didn't get to say hello to. Was blind. How you doing, buddy? Hi Wu. Thank you, man. I will try to stay strong. I feel already so much better, honestly. I kept calling Lipstick Hick Lipstick Chick because even with contacts, my eyes suck. Living my dream. Welcome to the show. I actually watched a couple of your videos today. Awesome stuff. She's she's out there making her own. Who else did I miss here? I just saw somebody else at Gear Vlogs. How you doing, buddy? Patty Broussard, always a pleasure to see you as well. Mike Van Doozy from Creator Spotlight Show. How you doing, bud? Let's see. Yeah, and look what they're saying. Look what they're saying, man. And this is all great shit. Isn't that a weird way of putting it? I'm sorry. This is
I
all.
love it. I love it.
This is all great stuff. I've got
when you said Nightbot, suck it. I just lost it, dude. I was over here. I was like, I wish that he could actually hear me laughing at that. I thought that was great. It's like when you're going through your hard times, at least in my case, a little bit of your walls go down.
Yeah.
You know, you're a little bit more vulnerable when the crap is flying. But oh, that was hilarious.
If I can't take my anger and depression out on an inanimate object, what can I do? He's just such an easy
fantastic.
target.
Yeah, the people in your community, I'm just gonna say it, are awesome people. They're awesome folk.
They really are. They really are. I missed all you guys last week as well, as was my damn Creator Spotlight show just said. I missed you guys a lot too, man. I was poking around whenever I had between beers and and I did upload a few of the guest cuts that I had in the can. But yeah, I did miss you guys. It's tough when you do this on a regular basis and you get to see these people. And when I say see, you get to interact with these people on a regular basis. It's tough walking away for a while. And that was by far the longest break I've had since December last year. So.
Yep.
So what am I going to do, man? What am I?
What are you going to do?
What am I going to do about my practice space? I think
I
you
know
understand.
What happened?
Well,
what happened, man?
For the last 10 years, I've had practice space in the basement, which is a full bar sort of auditorium, underneath a local VFW here in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And I got a lot of family that are members there. I was a member as an auxiliary because I didn't serve in a foreign war. And every time they needed me to do karaoke for them, I would do karaoke for them. No charge, right? Anytime they needed a band for an event, they usually had 2 or 3 a year, and I had a band that was functional. We'd play for nothing. I mean, it wasn't nothing. It was a trade-off. That was our payment for the space. Well, administration changes on a regular basis. They have term limits, or they just get tired of serving. And the new commander apparently put it up to a vote, and nobody stood up. So I'm losing that practice space. Yeah, and that means it's not just the practice space, but I've got so much effing equipment over there that now I've got to drag back over, because you start collecting it when you've got extra space.
Oh yeah, you're preaching to the choir, man.
Oh man, I've got 2 full BFM subs that I built. They're 21 by 22 by 39 inches tall. They only use 12s, man, and they kick like direct 18 radiators.
Right on, man.
Yeah, they're fully horn loaded subs. I think I've posted before you were involved in the community. I actually posted pictures, and maybe I will again sometime.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing, Pusha Studios? He listen in. Oh, It's probably not as bad as it seems, and it's getting better. But I got to talk through this because this one's really got me down, man. 10 years of being able to practice there anytime that I need to.
10 years is a long time, my friend.
Yeah,
that's a lot of investment.
Yep. I've got 6 tops, 2 jacks and two jacks and 4 omnis. Of course, my full acrylic kit. Those are top, the top speakers.
Oh yes,
the main PAs. I've got all my lights are over there.
Dude.
Yeah, all my sound equipment. Well, with the exception of my Buffalo, the flight cases here.
So my question, if you don't mind me interrupting, who in their right mind would give someone the boot and have to replace all of this gear that I'm assuming that you are letting people use at the same time that you're using it?
No, there's nobody there to use it.
So it's just you.
It's just me. Yeah. But you got to remember that the basement is kind of an event area. So nobody ever even goes down there. They all stay up at the bar or they go in the auditorium, which is on the first floor. So it's unused space unless they rent it out. And when they do, I cram all of the equipment that's out, which, I don't normally keep my full PA out. Just maybe the jacks because they're full range. Gotcha. And then my drums, and then a couple guitar amps because my guitarists leave their amps down there. It's an easy thing. You just carry your guitar down there instead of the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah.
And we just play, right? We'll play like one evening a week, and we have almost consistently for the last 10 years. So yeah, I'll shove it off into one of the storage rooms and off to the side.
Yeah.
They'll have the little event over the weekend. Boom, I'll move it back out, and it'll be up there for 4, 5, 6 months until another rental.
So what is the problem?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I might even be premature because I haven't met or talked to this guy yet, and I might be able to, strike another deal.
Yeah.
Didn't have to before because some of my family worked there, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, sure, we'll clear it through the upper echelons."
Wow.
So, but that's a lot of equipment to bring back.
That's a hit. Yeah, an emotional investment. You've probably got memories down there, and there's something to be said about the tradition that undoubtedly you've got practicing once a week down there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
that blows, dude. That just blows.
I know. I'm not giving up all hope, but it really put me in a funk over the last 2 days. I learned about it yesterday afternoon. It's like, frig.
Yeah.
So moving it's not a problem because I'd have to move it for every gig that we'd play out of there, right? But moving it for the last time, that's going to suck.
Gonna suck. Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll hope for the best. If you're a praying type, I'll send up a couple prayers, and hopefully the new management will see that it's probably a terrible mistake what they're doing.
I hope so. Well, time will tell. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I haven't given up all hope, but since we were scheduled actually to practice tonight, and my buddy there who's still there, he said you can't do it tonight. We've got a church coming in. They go downstairs, and all our stuff is on the stage, so nobody jacks with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a local church that comes in, has like a youth group or whatever.
Yeah.
So we put it off tonight as well. And they have a big meeting tomorrow night, and I can't make it. I got a client thing tomorrow night here. I don't know if I told you that. You see what I'm doing right here? What we're doing?
What are we doing?
Well, we're live on a social media platform.
Yes.
You have zoomed in. Imagine if I had zoomed in to me, to my control unit here.
Yeah.
And I was still doing all the switching, going back and forth with, overlays and yeah. That's what I do for a few clients on a regular basis. So,
sweet.
Yeah, I set everything up. They both zoom into me, and then they become side by sides, and they do their little interview. Sometimes it's full screen for each one of them, and lower thirds, and all that kind of stuff. I got that going on tomorrow night. But there's not enough of them. I'm having a whole lot in this. I'm just going to shut up there.
You're having yeah. That's fine.
I'm laying too
I'm
much.
glad you.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad that you've got that going. It seems like you would enjoy something like that.
Oh, I love it. It's the problem is finding clients for it.
Right.
It's extremely difficult because one, they have to want to be on camera, and not everybody wants to be on camera.
A lot of people want to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Two, they have to have a goal and a subject matter.
Sure.
And that is a rare thing, and unless somebody can convince them that it is in their best interest, right, to create content. Usually it's for a business. The one tomorrow night is actually for a church. If you guys want to check it out, it's on Facebook. It's Christian Questions. I've done several of them for them.
Go in there right now.
Yeah.
What was that? Christian Questions.
Christian Questions. Yeah. There's some old friends. It's a relaxed atmosphere, but they do a show once a month with me, and you'll know it by the split screen between Rick and Julie. So anyway, having said that, it's tough to help people understand what is possible and what you can do with that content that is created.
Oh yeah.
So I'm struggling with that as well. And again, I don't mean to lay this shit on you.
No. I own and operate a studio. It's called Art City Sound, and it's been consistently just getting lower and lower, and clients fewer and fewer. And I think it has to do with barrier to entry is getting lower. Recording equipment is getting cheaper.
Yes.
And there's more incentive for people to do their own. But at the same time, I'm a musician, and so man, am I grateful that I have that I've learned the skills of audio engineering to be able to produce a YouTube channel of my own. But I guess there's silver lining around every dark day, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wouldn't say just YouTube channel, the music you create, dude.
Oh, right.
Let me ask you something. Are you putting any of that on like an iTunes platform?
All of it, except the covers. Yeah, I actually I've got 4 albums, all on iTunes and Spotify and Amazon, and I think there's one called Deezer. I've never heard of that, but evidently I'm on Deezer.
It's amazing how that happens, isn't it?
It is. And so
I actually knew some of that. Yeah, I actually knew some of that. I'm just giving you a chance to shamelessly plug.
Oh, God bless you. So God bless you. So yes, I totally understand that. But yeah, I am just when I was putting together my 5th album, 11 songs, coming up with a name for it, asking my designer friend for some design ideas. And I was in the middle of that when I got a little notification saying, "Hey, video calling shows going live." I was like, "Hey, I could watch Jim while I'm doing this," and boom, here we are.
Well, again, I can't thank you enough, man. You've really lifted my spirits, Jason. You've done well tonight.
I would expect that you would do the same to me.
I would absolutely do the same to you, man.
See, there's no doubt. It's just something about your character is, you're if I could venture a guess, you're much more of a giver than a taker.
I like to think so.
Yeah, it comes off that way anyway.
Here's a great example, and this is not tooting my own horn. I didn't want to be that guy. I was doing some television production just a while back for somebody that I'll talk about later, not tonight. But well, we were laying it down on these, the compact SSD drives.
Yes.
And the station had actually lent me one. I had one, but we were laying down 2 tracks, and neither one of them were very large storage. So it helped me, grab all pieces of the show. So when I brought them back here to edit them for air, I'd have everything I needed. Well, the show went away, and we never went back to the studio. Here, just maybe 2 days ago, I went to look for my SSD drive and discovered that I still had theirs. I thought,
this was quite some time.
I don't know, 2 months maybe. Not a lot. Yeah, not a great deal of time. But they knew the relationship was over with that particular client.
Sure.
And I thought, I got to get this back to him. It's only like $100 worth of SSD drive, maybe 150. I said, but it doesn't belong to me. So I had a meeting on the north side this morning at a church. Oddly enough, I am meeting at more churches than you would believe. And I'm not particularly Orthodox at all, so that it's kind of strange for me. But so I meet at this church, and I knew I was going up to Carmel, and I thought, they're over there north of Fishers. And I took it with me and took it right up there and said, look, I've had this. I don't want to be that guy
Sure.
that walks off with shit. So
Yeah.
that's the sort of thing I'll do. I know, Bob Dip, I need the shameless plug graphic. I think he was talking about you. But...
Serve it, man.
Oh, yeah, this is a personal shameless plug, isn't it?
Heck
Oh,
yeah.
man, do I suck.
Own it. No way.
Nightbot.
No way.
Just you and me, man, Nightbot.
That's right.
So yeah, it's like I am not that guy. I'm not a guy who takes advantage of people. Nor do I want a whole lot of stuff from other people.
It comes off in your demeanor too. That's everything
Cool.
you're telling me. It does not surprise me one bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, if I could just get more clients to agree with that.
Oh, see, I've come to know that to being a nice guy doesn't necessarily equate to more dollars, right?
It doesn't.
Doing something that you love does not necessarily mean people are willing to pay for it. And
Oh yeah, you should know as well as I do.
it's a tough road, but
yeah. Well, on the flip side of that, I'm old enough to not do stuff for free, right?
Right.
And the one thing that people fall down hard on when they become a contractor or freelancer is that they'll do things for free, and I'm not that guy. I learned my lesson early. So whenever someone asks me to do something, I say, oh, I'd love to do that. That sounds exciting, fantastic. It'll do this, that, and the other thing for you, and it'll cost this much. You got to lay it down right at the beginning.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's like laying a boundary down.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this is the deal, and I'm super happy, and this is what it costs, and when do we start?
Yeah. You get to weed out so many at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't know it was going to cost me anything. And,
Exactly.
Maybe it's not exactly what I want to do.
Right. And also, that also works to your benefit as far as word of mouth. If you start doing free stuff, people will say, hey, yeah, I got this done. And then they're like, oh, cool. Who did it? And Jim did it. Well, what was the price? Oh, it was free. And they're like, woo, I'm going over there. And then you've got to explain to more and more and more people that, like, he was my friend, or he was my brother, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm on board with that. If you lay down those boundaries, then the people who get it done will also say, hey, it costs this much. And so the value is automatically attached to the service.
Yes, absolutely. My problem with word of mouth is that I let it I let that reputation linger, just sit there. When I was working on the studio, when I was working on and at the studio for 3 years, so now people don't know me as a digital marketer per se.
I see.
Yeah. So it's been tough. I've been trying to rekindle those relationships.
Gotcha.
But it's not easy, especially when ageism is absolutely real.
Yeah.
When I started doing this, there were no college courses, much less high school courses. In fact, as a self-taught layman, I was asked to go to IUPUI and teach some HTML classes back in, God, I want to say it was 95, 96.
All right.
Yeah. And because they were just starting to get involved. Maybe it was later than that. Maybe it was 97, 98.
Right.
But anyway, now every Tom, Dick, and Harry fancies themselves a digital marketer.
Oh, yeah.
So the prices have come down.
Oh, that is such a shame too, especially with digital marketing. I'm in the thick of that, if I might. I've with my channel, Magic Jones, I started it just kind of anticipating the word to just get out because of how awesome my content was, and that's how naive I was. And when that didn't happen, I was like, oh, maybe I could just I swap some studio time with for someone who needs to come in who knows something about digital marketing. And And sure enough, I had taker after taker after taker just say, yeah, I know digital marketing, and hey, I'll give you a couple hours free for studio time if you show me. Because I don't know. Well, I didn't know anything about digital marketing at all, but I went through four people, and they didn't do jack squat. They didn't do anything at all for my for my platform, for getting it out there.
Oh man.
And that's so frustrating.
Oh yes. Oh
so
yeah.
frustrating. I'm like, come on, guys, I am dead serious about this, and I need this to work. So
well,
anyway,
like you from a different side, I have met so many non-digital marketers who tout themselves as digital marketers, then I couldn't even shake a stick at.
Really?
It was oh yeah, unbelievable. I remember I was working at a local hospital. Actually, what I was doing for them was UX UI, which is user interface, user experience.
Yeah.
And funny, I used to work for them full time back in the late 90s, but but they had hired, since our break, and I was doing a whole lot of contract work for them after I split with them. They brought in a digital marketing firm, and I had to, as the UX UI guy, teach them how to do PPC.
You're kidding.
No, they were spending thousands of dollars per month on garbage campaigns. They're bidding on single keywords, which is a death knell for those of you who don't know. Single keywords in your tags, in your keywords, in your content. If you bank on single keywords, you're doing it wrong, and I'll tell you why.
Is that because competition is so fierce?
Not only that, yes, competition is absolutely fierce, but there's two other reasons. One, a single word gets lost in sentences. It means different things, right?
So context.
Yes, context is everything, and context is where you get long tail keyword phrases. So in other words, if let's say that you build, I use this example all the time. Let's say that you repair shoes, right? You want to drive more people into your shoe repair shop. Now,
yes, I do.
If you bid on shoes, or if you optimize your site, beyond the best optimization that you could ever do.
Yeah.
And you showed up number one for shoes. Do you think that would get you anywhere? No. What that's going to get you is a whole lot of people. Enough. Yeah, that you're going to get in front of a whole lot of people who are looking for shoe polish, for shoe sales, for tennis shoes, for all of those modifiers. Mm-hmm. That's why you've got to find out what long tail keywords are relevant to your goal, right?
Yep.
And optimize and advertise using those. But anyway, back to the original story. They were bidding on individual keywords. Of course, the conversion rates were in the toilet.
Yeah.
Less than 8%, and they're spending thousands of dollars on these clicks per month for these stupid.
This was a firm.
This was a hospital, a very well-known hospital in Indianapolis, who shall go nameless.
The company that they hired supposedly was a marketing firm.
Is the key phrase. They no longer exist. I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
Wow.
Yes,
wow, that's terrifying.
Well, yeah, but it's all too common. So what I did, and here's my shameless plug.
You go, bud.
I got sick of people doing that. I got sick of people saying, "Oh, look." Well, back in the day, it was, "Oh, well, look at all these hits you got on your website." Well, hits back in the day was, your page was a hit. The images were each individual hits.
Yes.
Every request, HTML, yes, request, HTTP request was a hit. Well, this is how they justified their existence. Oh, well, we got you from 20 hits a month to 20,000. Well, that meant nothing.
Yeah. For those who don't understand, this is back in the day, because I'm a web developer, so this is stuff that makes sense to me. Whereas marketing is still. It's gone from Greek to Spanish, so I guess that's a step up. But anyway, the HTTPS or HTTP protocol, every time you go to a web page, if it's got 10 images and other CSS and JavaScript and stuff that it pulls in, it can get you 20 hits every time somebody pushes that refresh key. So I mean, it's totally not. It's deceitful.
Well, yeah. Well. No, it is and it isn't. At first, everybody thought, oh, well, that's the metric we have to use. That's the only metric we have, you know?
Right. Right.
And as analytics became more intelligent, why then we had a whole host of metrics that really threw that one to the wayside. But then at that same time, there were a lot of people using that just to justify their existence. They knew it was bullshit, and they just said, oh, well, you know, hey, look at these numbers, Mr. Client.
Yeah, you can rack up 100,000 hits in no time.
Yeah. And this is all before we knew what a conversion was as it related to the web, right? The web sphere.
Right,
so,
right.
But that didn't stop. What that turned into was people saying, "Oh, well, you've got this many visitors now." Okay, visitors, I get that. Cool. You've raised it from 10 a month to 10,000 a month. Fantastic.
Right.
But what they would never do, they would never tell the client what that meant to the bottom line.
How is that converting to dollars?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, again, this is my opportunity to do a shameless plug.
You got it.
I created my own mini algorithm that requires just 4 pieces of input from the client based on their real-time sales.
Mm-hmm.
And we can figure out to the average dollar, because you'll never know exactly unless it's e-commerce. If it's e-commerce, we can tell to the dollar how many dollars they made for every marketing dollar spent.
Yeah. And
not only that, but where our acquisition cost was going up or down. And I track it per month, so you can see when it's the trend is on the rise, or you need to look out, something happened, or we need to still do work.
So basically, marketing health.
Yeah, well, not only that, it's literally return on investment.
Oh, right on.
And so a great example is I'm going to say a tractor parts conglomerate that I was working with just a couple years ago, that I can literally prove that they only made, when I took over that account, because I had some data that went back before I started working with them, and I was able to do the math.
Valuable.
Yeah. For every dollar, they actually, for every, how was that? They were only making, yes, for every marketing dollar spent, they were only making 62 cents. Oh. So they were literally losing 38.
Wait, that's not good.
No.
That's you sell more, you lose more.
Yes, exactly.
Ouch.
I was able to turn that around. Now, granted, this is total e-commerce, so I knew down to the cent, because every time they make a purchase, in analytics, you can track that down to the cent.
Yeah.
By the time I got done with them after a year, they were making 6.76 cents, or $6.76 for every marketing dollar they spent with me.
That's like 800%.
Yes. Yep.
Wow.
And they loved it.
Of course they did. They went from totally going down in the red to soaring. That's fantastic.
Unfortunately, when I was doing that, I was with that same firm that I built the studio for. Couldn't keep it afloat. I mean, it is actually still afloat, but I think I've said this before. He went from 21, maybe 22 employees down to about 2 or 3. When I decided to make my exodus, I saw the writing on the wall.
Oh, no. Wait, was it just, well, that's probably too personal. I was going to say, was that just bad decisions on their part? Because if they're making $6 for every dollar, that's pretty good.
Between you and me, Jason.
Uh-oh.
I brought that to them. I developed it on my own. I brought that to them. They didn't get it. That client that I told you about was the only one that I personally, as a representative of the company, I wanted to make sure that they were happy. I literally showed them the progress. They already knew, because they were making money hand over fist, and suddenly they figured, hey, we got more money coming in than going out. This is awesome. But I showed them what that really meant based on our efforts. Mine, actually, it was all a PPC account. And of course, I was also consulting them on SEO per the contract. But so but they never picked up on it. I explained it to him 3 different times.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
That's sad, is what it is.
It is. It is. Twice. Corporation, or company wide, the almost the entire 20 people sat through my presentation on it.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them said they loved it. Others didn't get it, and I get that because they weren't marketers. They're
Sure.
Providing other functions.
Yeah.
But it was never adopted.
It's a
Too much-
tough thing to get.
It's too much accountability is what it is, and people are afraid of accountability. You know what I mean? Because I could have easily not done a very good job
Of course.
and never got them at least 1-to-1, right? Break even.
Right.
So, and that is so many people's fears. That's why they relied on the hits for so long, and the visitors, and all those fun little metrics that mean 0 to the bottom of the line.
Jack squat. So I'm actually I'm in the beginning stages of educating myself in marketing for music specifically. I've already gone through one other training completely that I purchased, which actually it didn't end up working for the music sales, but it did work in educating me or at least getting my toes wet with marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And a nut that is seemingly harder and harder to crack is how do you profit with music nowadays? And it's really interesting what I'm learning from this course that I purchased. It seems like this guy knows his stuff too. Either that or he is a fantastic salesman, because he doesn't even seem like a salesman at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just a guy that's super interested in the numbers and the data and the truth. And one thing that he says is albums are worth next to nothing now. When you can, give $10 a month to Spotify or to Google Play or iTunes, and you got instant access to 15 million songs. But he is, instead of selling the music, he's kind of taking a route of selling yourself. Create a connection between yourself and your fans, and have the music be the manifestation of that relationship. And instead of selling the album, like sell personalized, like a signed album, or a thumb drive full of artwork or stuff that can commemorate a relationship that you already have. But he recommends Facebook as the main platform for marketing, and I've been diving into the back end of Facebook, and Jim, it is absolutely dumbfounding and terrifying what Facebook knows about everybody. It is ridiculous. Like I've got a marketing campaign running now that is laser focused to a very, very select group of people who turns out are quite interested in my music, and so it's pretty cool. I haven't made a cent off it yet, but I'm not at that stage yet.
Sure.
But anyway, so I understand what you're saying about marketing, but
well, I oddly enough, in all the myriad of industries that I've dealt with, musicians or artists in the musical field are ones that I've never had to deal with. Isn't that somewhat ironic, being a musician myself?
That is because yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But every time we talk about this, now, granted, I got a lot of irons in the fire, and I tend to forget that you and I have these discussions about marketing.
Yes.
I'm sorry. But I'd really like to, and I'm not trying to sell you. I would do it for you to help you get off the ground and help you help yourself. I would be willing to really put some thought into it. You and I can get together, maybe do a few offline Zooms and talk about possibilities.
Sure.
Because I think I had some ideas. I think you already had hit on them, but that's only because they were off my cuff.
Right.
But yeah, I'd really like to do that with you and see what I can do in that arena, because I kind of know it, maybe not as deeply as you do from the sales side.
Well, I'm just learning now.
Yeah.
But if I'd be willing to. I'd take you up on that offer wholeheartedly. Actually,
I think it'd be fun. I really do. and we all want to do stuff that's fun.
Yes, we do.
Oh, I wish I was making a living doing this.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It would.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
It It would. God, growth is so slow sometimes, it seems. I am grateful for the 700 plus that I have. Um, it's both exciting and disappointing. You see, I looked at a channel today, had a video, and I kid you not, had over 10 million views. The channel had less than 600 subs.
So, really?
I kid you not. Or maybe it was 800 subs, but even still, that's a horrible ratio. And if you want to look it up, I was looking up call-in shows because I wanted to see what my competition was, and it was some sort of prankster, some guy who kept getting prank phone calls from like a 1990s literal public television call-in show.
Yep.
Just audio call-in show, and I was like 10 million views, and the guy's got less than $1,000 in subs, and I thought, unbelievable. And then you see some people who rocket, right? 20,000 in a friggin' year.
Right.
How does that happen?
Right. Yeah, I don't know how. I tend to be honest. After the first 6 months of me doing a song every single week, I did 52 songs a year for 2 years, and for the first 6 months, I was so on the border of just giving it all up because I expected, 10 or 20,000 views.
Yeah.
Not views, but subscribers.
Yeah.
And I had like 300 or 400. And I was like, what is going on? This just can't. I mean, you look around at people who are doing similar content, and the views and the subscribers and the success that they seem to have, it's just like, come on, I'm just as good as they are. What's going on? Oh, it's so frustrating. I just couldn't think about it. I just was like, okay, subscribers out. I'm not even going to think about that. Yeah. I'm doing this because I love it, right? I'm doing this because I love it. Dang it.
There you go. And I keep telling myself the same thing, right?
Oh, yes. It's horrible. It is horrible. But at the same time, it's like, if I didn't love this, there is no way that I would have been, I'd keep doing it. There's no way, because the numbers are so, I'd need to increase 25,000% weekly in order for this to make sense in a year.
Hey man,
sorry,
we all have goals. Well, listen,
let's get a little animated.
No, that's cool. I think I might use that as my thumbnail.
There you go. You are free to use whatever you want, my friend.
Sweet. Well, listen, Jason, I actually have somebody in the wings I don't believe has been on before, so let's do that. Let's actually get together offline. Oh, and I'm gonna need your link again. For some reason, it disappeared. Totally disappeared.
Link for
the library, song library.
Oh, the iTunes?
Yeah.
Or Spotify, or
the Subscribe Star.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. I'll get it.
Yeah, I just can't seem to find it anywhere. And
no worries.
Yeah.
And and this might be a personal question if you don't want to answer, no worries. But has Subscribestar been charging you monthly, or was it just one thing? Because I don't know how they're set up. Well,
they as I understand it, and I haven't looked at it for a while because I don't have enough to to look at it.
Okay.
But as I understand it, it's like per transaction, kind of like Patreon, right? So, and it may be a bulk, but I couldn't tell you.
Okay. All right. I mean?
Like curious. Right before payment or something. I just don't know, dude.
Okay. No worries.
Hopefully,
I'll definitely get you that link.
Hopefully, I'll get some more subscribers and be able to tell you all about it.
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much. It's good to see you smile and laugh, my friend.
Oh, it's thanks to you and you guys. Really, it is, man. Thanks so much, Jason. Sure, appreciate it.
Take care.
Take care, bud. Bye. You too could be a guest on this show at any time. We're live every weeknight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you've got to do is hit that subscription button and ring that bell right now. Oh, and while you're at it, why not share this video? I'm sure my guests would appreciate it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you live.